Hello friends, I welcome you all in today's class. This is a mapping series in which we are dealing with the political and the physical mapping of the world. If you've seen my previous classes, then you know that we have already done two continents, that is Africa and South America. We have finished the political and physical mapping of these two continents. Today, we will be starting the third continent, that is North America. Now, this continent is very important as far as the UPSC examination is concerned because of a country named Canada that is located in this continent. If you know about the recent news that the relations between India and Canada have gone to the all-time low. That is why this becomes more important for us. So we will in today's lecture try and learn about the important physical features and political features of this continent. So let us start our today's class with the political features of North American continent. This is the North American continent and there are three important countries in this continent. First one is Canada, second one is United States of America, third one is Mexico. There are not only three countries in this continent, but there are some other countries as well located in the Central American part, that is in this region. But the most important countries are these three. Then we'll have some island nations as well that are located in this region, the Caribbean islands. So today we will try and learn all these countries and some physical features as well. So let us start our today's class with the first country, that is Canada. You should be more attentive towards Canada because of the news that killing of Niger that sparked the controversy and eventually led to deteriorating the relationships between India and Canada. If you don't know about the news, then there was a person, the pro-Khalistani, whose name was Niger, and he was shot dead in Canada in this region, British Columbia, in Surrey. And because of that, there arose a controversy between India and Canada. That is why this continent is very important for you because UPSC has a habit of asking questions from the places that have been in news. So let us start with Canada. Canada has 10 provinces and 3 territories. Like we have states and union territories, it is somewhat like that. So in Canada, we will have 10 provinces and 3 territories. Starting with the first 3 territories, you will have 3 territories in the north, these 3 territories, and then you will have 10 provinces as well. These are 10 provinces that you should at least know the name of, starting with the westmost, that is British Columbia, number 1. On the western part is British Columbia. Then number 2, Alberta. This is the second. Third is Saskatchewan. It's very important. Again, this one, Saskatchewan, is important because of its mineral wealth that is highly located in this province. Then we'll have one more, that is Manitoba. That's number 4. Then we have Ontario, very important because of some important cities that are located in this province. Then we'll have one more, that is Quebec, located here. I hope this is visible. These are all the provinces that I am marking right now. Then we'll have Quebec. Then some island nations located in the Newfoundland and Labrador with a island as well associated with it. Then we have some small island nations that include the New Brunswick, number 1, number 2 Prince Edward Island, and Nova Scotia. These are the provinces that are in Canada. These are the 10 provinces that you should know. At least you should know the name of 10 provinces and 3 territories. Now, we have some important things that are associated with it. If we talk of Saskatchewan, you will have minerals, you will have rare earth elements that are found in this region. Then you have British Columbia, some important places, that is Vancouver. Vancouver you will find located in British Columbia, and Surrey, where the incident of killing of the pro-Khalistani person took place. Then you have some other important places, the capital of Canada, that is Ottawa, located in Ontario. That is the capital of Canada, that is Ottawa. Then there is a very important place, that is Toronto. It is the largest city in Canada. So these are some of the important places that are located in Canada. Now, these are the names of all the provinces that are there, along with the capitals as well, like Prince Edward Island and Saskatchewan. We have got this list for you. You can take a screenshot of this and memorize. You don't have to memorize all the capitals, but you should have a rough idea of what the name of the provinces is and what is the capital of them, so as to answer if there is any question asked by UPSC, because this place has been in news. Now, if you look at this map, This is the map of Canada, and we have some important places located in Canada that I'll be marking. And please, I would hope that I'll expect that you remember these places, because you will definitely get a question sometime if this has been in news and the news gets more popular. First thing is this. What is the name of this place I just mentioned? You tell me in the comments. I just mentioned this place. British Columbia. Okay. Now, Vancouver, as I mentioned, is very important in this region. We have a Vancouver Island as well, and Vancouver is a place that is the west end of the Trans-Canadian Railway. You know, there is a railway line that goes from the western part of Canada and goes up to the east throughout the Canada, and it goes up to west in Vancouver. That's number one. That's why Vancouver is very important. Then we go to some other important places like Winnipeg. We have a lake here as well, Lake Winnipeg, that we will study about when we discuss the lakes. The Winnipeg is located here in Manitoba. Then the important cities that I already mentioned. First is Ottawa, the capital. This is the capital. It is located in Ontario province. Capital, Ottawa, capital of Canada. Largest city, that is Toronto. It is the largest city of Canada. Then one more important city, that is Montreal. This is a question for you guys. It is located in Quebec. I'm asking this to you guys. You tell me in the comments, what is the importance of Montreal? It's regarding the environment. So you guys tell me, why is Montreal important? That is how they are located from north to south. And then we have some important places, that is Halifax. Halifax is a place that the Trans-Canadian Railway goes up to in the east. So the Trans-Canadian Railway will start from Halifax in the east and go up to Vancouver in the west. So these are some of the very important places that are located in Canada. Now, there are some important islands as well that are in Canada. Starting with the top of this is Queen Elizabeth Island. This is very important, Queen Elizabeth Island. Then we have Banks Island, number 2. And number 3 is the Victoria Island. These are the 3 important islands. There are some more islands. There are actually many islands. There is Ellesmere Island that's not visible in this map. You will have the Ellesmere Island as well. But these 3 are very important: Queen Elizabeth Island, Banks Island, and Victoria Island, starting from north to south. So if you have to get a mnemonym or something, you should go for Elizabeth, as you know, the Queen, then Bank in between, and Victoria. So name of the 2 queens, that is Elizabeth and Victoria, and the Bank is in between. How to remember it? Which is on top? Because E is first in the alphabets, A, B, C, D, E. E will come first. So E is at top. That's Elizabeth is at top. And the Victoria Island, V comes after E. V is at the bottom. And B is in between. That is, the Bank is in between. You have to memorize these things, because there is a very good chance that UPSC might ask a question from Canada, because this place is in news. That's why you should know all the name of the islands as well. So these are the 3 important islands in Canada. That is Queen Elizabeth Island, Banks Island, and Victoria Island. Then one more important is Baffin Island. This is clearly visible. This is the very large island, that's Baffin Island, and it lies very close to Greenland. Greenland, you know about Greenland. So there is a bay associated with, that is Baffin Bay. So this is very important that you have to remember. So 4 islands that I have mentioned is at the top, starting A, B, C, D, E, that's Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth Island. Then coming in between is the Bank Island, and at the southmost part is the Victoria Island. Then you go to the Baffin Island here. So these are some of the islands that are in Canada, very important islands. There are some more islands, but these are the important islands located in Canada. So I hope you understood about Canada. Now, there is one more place. This, as I mentioned it in the initially part, is the Newfoundland and Labrador. What is it famous for? The Grand Bank region in this region. What is it famous for? Fishing. This is famous for fishing because of the mixing of cold current and warm ocean current. This area is famous for fishing. A bulk of fishing is done in this region. So I hope you understood each and everything, and you remember and memorize these things. These are some of the important places that I have highlighted here. That's Vancouver in British Columbia, number 1. Then Winnipeg in Manitoba. Then we have Ottawa and Toronto. Then we have Halifax, and then we have Newfoundland and Labrador. These are the important places that I have mentioned for you guys. You should know these. Then the islands, as I already told you how you should memorize them, starting from E, B, and V. Then we have Baffin Island. So that is about Canada. I hope you understood everything about Canada. Now let's go to the south of Canada and come to United States of America. USA. This is the map of USA. As you can see, there are many states in USA. You tell me in the comments how many states are there in USA. That is a question for you guys. So this is the map of United States of America. There are many states. You tell me how many. So we will not be discussing all of them, but some of them are very important that I am marking here. Number 1, California, very important. Let's look at the location. It is located on the Pacific Ocean side. If you don't have idea about where the Pacific is, where the Atlantic is, then please look at this image for a second. On this side of the American continent is the Pacific. On this side is the Atlantic, and on the northern side is the Arctic. I hope this is clear to you guys now. So this is our American map. California is very important state for us. There are some very important places located in California, number 1. Then we have one more, that is Nevada. There is one important place in Nevada as well. This Washington, don't get confused between the Washington DC or the capital. That is different. That's located on the east side of America, and this Washington is different. Then we come to the eastern part of United States, and you will see some other important places, that is New York. Again, New York and New York City are two different things. It's not the same thing. Then you have some important places like Minnesota, then you have Dakota. These are not really that important. You don't have to remember all these. Then you have Texas. It is the largest state again in United States of America, but mainland, that's the continent part. If you go in the overall, then that's Alaska. That we will also discuss. And then is Florida, very important. Then Ohio, Pennsylvania. These are very important places that we'll be discussing one by one, some of the important cities that are there. But at least you should remember the name of a few, like California, Nevada, Washington, Pennsylvania, New York, and Florida, and Texas. Okay, is this clear? If you have any confusion, you do ask me in the comments. Now, let's move to the next part. That is the American cities, very important cities. Starting from this place. What is the name of this place? California. Discussing about California, we have some very important places, starting with San Francisco. This is located towards the Pacific Ocean, the coastal part. Okay, don't get confused about this thing. This is the coastal part. Okay, this is the Pacific Ocean. San Francisco at the top. Remember the sequence from north to south. Okay, that is how the UPSC will usually ask to arrange the cities from north to south. San Francisco is located at the northern part, that is in Pacific area. After that, you will have one more, that is San Jose, again important. Then there is one more, that is Los Angeles. And then finally San Diego. These are some of the places that are located along the Pacific coast of California. The state that we are talking about here is California. So 4 important places in California are San Francisco, number 1, San Jose, number 2, Los Angeles, number 3, and San Diego, number 4. Now, when we talk of San Francisco, you guys know that. Why is it important? Because of its IT sector. It is known as the Silicon Valley, because it has very huge, tremendous IT sectors in this region, San Francisco. Remember, it is the Silicon Valley. Like we have the same kind of a thing in India as well, in Bangalore. We call Bangalore as the Silicon Valley of India. This is the Silicon Valley, San Francisco, located in California. This is California. Okay, the state is California, and San Francisco is located in this, and it is along the coast. Then we have one more, that is Los Angeles. What is Los Angeles famous for? It is famous for movies, Hollywood. This is the hub of Hollywood. Los Angeles is known for Hollywood and the movies. Okay, that is Los Angeles. And then we move towards the inner part, that is in the Nevada. This is the state of Nevada. Okay, we are done with 4 places: San Francisco, San Jose, Los Angeles, and San Diego, located in California. Going towards the inner part of the continent, we'll find one more state, that is Nevada. And the thing is, only important place in Nevada is Las Vegas. Why is Las Vegas important? What is Las Vegas famous for? For casinos and parties. The Las Vegas is famous for that purpose, the casinos and parties and other things. And it is located in Nevada. Then when we go towards this is all about the western part of USA. Then we'll go towards the eastern part. There are some more important places. First of all, we'll see Chicago here. Chicago we'll learn about in detail when we learn about the Great Lakes of North American continent. These are the Great Lakes of North American continent. If you know about the name of these lakes, you can tell me in the comments. That is Chicago. Then you have one more important place, that is Detroit. This is Detroit. Why is it important? for automobile industries. Detroit is known as the hub of automobile industries. Take down these points as well. Detroit, why is Detroit famous? Why is San Francisco famous? What is Las Vegas known for? All these things you should know. Then Detroit is known as the hub of automobile industries. Then we have one more, that's Pittsburgh here. Pittsburgh is again famous for what? Iron and steel industries. So Pittsburgh, Detroit, these are really close to each other. If you know about the Weber's theory of industrial locations, you can figure out why they are so closely located as well. That's a different topic. We'll discuss about that when we learn the human and economic geography. But this Pittsburgh is iron and steel industry. Then Detroit is famous for automobile industry. Then there is New York City here. If you look at this, you'll find New York here. And then this is the Washington DC. Don't get confused between the Washington. This was different. See, if you look at this Washington, this is different. This is not the capital of United States. But if you look at this Washington, this is the capital city of United States of America. This is Washington. Again, very important. Then we have one more place, that is this Texas. It is the largest state. Texas, you should know, is the largest city, state in United States of America. But it is in the mainland America. But when you look at the overall large state, it is Alaska. If you look at this map, that shows Alaska as well. Alaska is the largest state of United States. This is the largest state of United States of America, but not of the mainland, because if you look at this is the mainland of United States of America. And in this mainland, we have Texas, this place, that is the largest state of United States mainland. But when we talk of overall, then you will have Alaska as the largest state of United States of America. Now, going forward, when we reach to the this part, we will have Florida here, and there is a very important city, that is Miami in Florida. This is also used as a launching place as well, from where the satellites are launched as well. That is Miami. These are the points that you should know. And it's located towards the Atlantic Ocean. These places are located towards the Pacific Ocean. Miami is important for launching of the spacecrafts and other things. So that's about United States of America. Now we'll go to the Mexico. That is the third large country in the United States, sorry, in the North American continent. Just a few things that you need to know. The capital is Mexico City, very tough. The capital of Mexico is Mexico City, very difficult to remember. Then we have some important places like Baja Peninsula, number one. Baja Peninsula is located in Mexico. Don't get confused because of the Gulf of California. The name of the Gulf of California has nothing to do with this. Gulf of California is different, and Baja Peninsula is the peninsular region located in Mexico. California is a country located in United States. The name of this Gulf is as per that country. That's the California country, Gulf of California, located near Baja Peninsula, near the Mexico, the country of Mexico. Okay, that's number one. Then there is number two, very important, that is Yucatan Peninsula. Again, very important, that is located towards the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico. Yucatan Peninsula and Baja Peninsula. These are the two important peninsulas that you need to know about from this part, the Mexico. Now, we're done with Mexico, we're done with United States. Now we'll go towards the Central American part and learn about them as well. If you look at the Central American part here, there are some countries, actually there are a lot of countries that you don't have to remember all of these countries, but there are some countries that you should know about, starting with El Salvador. This is El Salvador that I am marking. This is El Salvador, and the capital of El Salvador is San Salvador. Why is this important again? Because of all the economic crisis that were happening in this. Then they launched the Bitcoin, recognized it as the fiat money. There was a lot of economics issues related to this. You can learn about that from the economics educator. Right now, we should know the location of this El Salvador. In the Central American part is El Salvador. Then there is one more important country, that is Costa Rica, and the capital is San Jose. Don't get confused when we learn about one more country. This is San Jose, J-O-S-E. San Jose is the capital of Costa Rica. And one more important is the Panama, and the capital of Panama is Panama City. It's very easy. The capital of Panama is Panama City, and it is the end of the North American continent, and after this you can see South America starts. So if the question comes, which country connects North America and South America, it is Panama. Panama is a country that connects the two continents. And very important thing, if you look at this, is the Panama Canal passes through this. Okay, Panama Canal will pass through this Panama city. Why is Panama Canal so important? If you look at the map of this continent or the world map, then you will realize why the Panama Canal is very important. This is the Panama from where the Panama Canal passes. Now imagine if somebody from this place has to travel to this Atlantic Ocean. If there was no Panama Canal, then that person will need to go around here or to any other part of Europe or other places. Because of Panama Canal, the distance has gone very short. That is the importance of Panama Canal. I hope you understood the Panama Canal and other things. That is about the Central American part. Now, this is about the Central American part. Three countries that are very important is El Salvador, number one, Costa Rica, number two, and Panama, number three. These are some of the countries that were very important. Now we learn about some of the continents, the islands that are here. First of all, very important is Cuba. Why is Cuba very important? You know that there have been a conflict going on between Cuba and America, United States of America, because Cuba is primarily a communist country. It supports communism, while as United States is a capitalist country. So there has been sanctions by United States of America on Cuba. United Nations has tried to figure out the things between the two, but there have been no results regarding this. So this is the location of Cuba. This is located in the Atlantic Ocean. The islands are located in Atlantic Ocean. First is Canada, the capital. First is Cuba, the capital, Havana. Number one. Then we go to the second very important is this, Puerto Rico, and the capital is San Juan. Puerto Rico's capital is San Juan. That's why I told you don't to get confused. San Jose is the capital of Costa Rica. Puerto Rico's capital is San Juan. Very important is San Juan. Why is this important? Because of the fact that recently there was a rally going on in the Pittsburgh in United States regarding the elections of, and the rally was of Donald Trump, and there happened some issues arose, and because of that the impact might reflect in the elections of the United States of America that are going to take place shortly. That is why this place has been in news, so you should know about this as well. That is Puerto Rico. There are some more places as well, like Jamaica is there, Guyana is there. These are also some continents, as you know about West Indies and other places. If you are a cricket fan, then these are some of the collection of these islands that form the West Indies. But some of the important that I figured was important was because Cuba has been in news because of the because of the conflicts with United States. This is the location of Cuba. Then you will have Puerto Rico. That is again very important because of the recent incidents that led to the issues in Pennsylvania area. Number two. And then we have one more important thing, that is Bermuda. It is located here. Now, I'll tell you something about Bermuda, why Bermuda is important. You might have heard of the fact that the ships and the planes have disappeared in a region called Bermuda Triangle. What exactly happens is that it's actually geography there. Well, we'll not discuss that right now. This is a mapping class. But the Bermuda Triangle that we have heard of is this location. I'll show you where the Bermuda Triangle is located. It starts from Miami. If you know about this, this is Miami in Florida. It goes up to Puerto Rico here. Then from Puerto Rico to Bermuda, and this forms the shape of a triangle. This triangle is known as the Bermuda Triangle, from where you hear the stories of ships disappearing and the flights crashing and other things, all the stories. This is the region, this area is known as the Bermuda Triangle. Well, obviously it's not strictly this triangle, but it's somewhat like this. This is known as the Bermuda Triangle. So that is about the places in the American continent. Some of the Central American countries we have discussed, some of the island nations we have discussed. I hope you understood all these things. Now, this is the news that I was talking about recently, a couple of days back, where United Nations again called on US to change course on Cuba, where they were talking up to remove the sanctions and other things from Cuba. But again, there was no result out of it. Then we go to the other news of the Puerto Rico, where I was mentioning how a problem arose in Pennsylvania region where some of the issues did go up. So Puerto Ricans, but let me tell you something, by the way, Puerto Rico has no right to vote. They don't vote in them because that is a territory of United States. But because of the diaspora located in United States, they will or might play a very important role in deciding who will be the next president of United States of America. That is why Puerto Rico was also in news. That's why I mentioned that as well. Now, before going further and discussing about some of the political physical features of the country, this is a question from 2024 UPSC CSE. Look at this question and observe the pattern. You've been given the name of 4 countries and you've been asked to tell the name of which of the following countries border the North Sea. Then there are the options. Why was this question asked and why was North Sea asked? Because this area was in news. Because of that, the area was in news. These countries are located, not all of them, but they are located around this region. All of them obviously don't share the border with North Sea, but because it was in news, you have to know everything about the North Sea. That is why in today's lecture, we have got to understand the seas that are associated with Canada, United States, and the Arctic as well, because the Arctic ice is melting. You know about that, the Arctic ice is melting, and that has led to a lot of news from this region. So we will learn the seas, the part the seas make of, if it is the part of Arctic Sea or the Atlantic Sea or the Pacific Sea. These things we will learn. And also this is important as far as the news of India-Canada relationships are concerned. So we should know each and everything regarding these places. Starting with the topmost, if you look at the Arctic, this is the top. If you have a globe in front of you or anything, if you look it from the top, then you will find this kind of a view. And these are all the seas that are associated with the Arctic. Right now we are here. This is what I'm demarcating. This area are what we are going to discuss today, this much. Okay, so there are some seas as well. If you look, we have Bering Sea, sorry, we have this sea, Beaufort Sea, and then Baffin Bay, and all these seas. We'll do these many seas, then go to the south, then we'll go to other continents and learn about other seas as well. But you should know the sequence, like first sea is Beaufort Sea, then we have Baffin Bay, how this sequence is there. Starting with the first and the northernmost sea, that is the, first of all, we'll go with the Bering Sea. Bering Sea is located to the northwest part of United States of America. Why is it important? Because it forms a boundary between Asia. If you look at this, this is America, and on other side you will see Asia or Russian countries located on this side. There you will see Asia, and this separates the two countries. Okay, this Bering Sea separates the two countries. So number first is the Bering Sea, and it's a part of, tell me which is the ocean located on that side. I just mentioned it. Then we have one more, that is Beaufort Sea. It is located to the north of Canada. I already mentioned about Canada, the islands here, the Elizabeth Island and the Banks Island and the Victoria Island. So it's located around this region, that is Beaufort Sea, to the north of Canada, and it's a part of Arctic Ocean. You should also know the sea, which is the part of which ocean. This is a part of Arctic Ocean. Going to the second, then we have Gulf of Bothnia, Boothia. Again, don't get confused between Bothnia and Bothnia. Bothnia and Bothnia are two different. Bothnia is located somewhere else. Don't get confused with that. This is Bothnia, and it is located north of Canada. This is again Canada. If you look at the places, this is the Victoria Island that I already mentioned, and it is somewhere near this region. Then these are the two seas, that is Beaufort Sea and Gulf of Bothnia. Then we have very important, as I mentioned, the name of the island, that is Baffin Island. So we have a bay here, that is Baffin Bay, located between the Baffin Island and Greenland. So you should know the locations as well. If I ask you like this, 1, 2, 3, you should be able to name on the blank map as well which ocean, which sea, which forms the part of the Baffin Bay, is again the part of Arctic Sea. So we have read 4 seas and the bays up until now, starting with B. All have the name starting with B. So remember the series from which they start. From this westernmost part is the Bering Sea, B1. Then B2 is the Beaufort Sea. B3 is the Gulf of Bothnia, and B4 is the Baffin Bay. B1, B2, B3, B4 in the northern part of Canada. These are the northernmost. So if you get the sea starting with B1, B2, B3, B4, remember the sequence: Bering, Beaufort, then you have Bothnia, and finally at the end you have Baffin Bay. These are the 4 important oceans located, the seas that are and the bays that are here in the Canada. And also know the location as well. Baffin Bay is situated between Baffin Island and Greenland. Then Gulf of Bothnia is located near the Victoria Island and the Prince of Wales Island. Then you have Beaufort Sea, that's near the Banks Island and to the north of Alaska. You know this is Alaska, right? This is Alaska. Then you have Bering Strait. It's located towards the eastern part of Alaska. These are the 4 seas and the bays that we have done with. Now we'll go towards the south, and there's a very important bay, that is the Hudson Bay. It is again located in Canada. Okay, Hudson Bay is again located in Canada. And one small bay, if you want to remember it, well and good, this is James Bay. If you don't remember it, that's okay, you don't have to remember it as well. Then the important is Hudson Bay. When you look at the map of the North American continent, you will always see a space like this. So that is the Hudson Bay. Whatever you see like this, a big space, that is a Hudson Bay. And where is it located? In Canada. Again, very important. And then we have Labrador Sea. Labrador Sea is again very important, as I mentioned you about a place that is located in this, where it is famous for banking because of the mixing of the warm and the cold currents. The cold currents will come from this place, and then the warm currents will come from the equator, and they will mix at this place, which will lead to the very high fishing in this zone. That is why Labrador Sea is very important, and it connects. If you look, this is a connection. This is forming a connection. Here you will see the Arctic, and on this side you will eventually see the Antarctic. So this sea leads to the connection to the Antarctic Ocean as, sorry, my bad, Atlantic Ocean. This is the Atlantic Ocean. This sea forms a connection between the Arctic and the Atlantic Ocean. These are the seas that are important. Then we have some important gulfs as well. The Gulf of St. Lawrence, that is here. It is very important because it is located at the mouth of a very famous river, that is St. Lawrence River, that comes from the Great Lakes. When we learn about the rivers, you will understand why is it so important, what happens because of this river, the carriage and the important work that it is done because of all the places that I already mentioned, like Detroit and Pittsburgh, how it helps in carrying the various elements from these places. Then Gulf of St. Lawrence is located on the mouth of that river as well, and it's very important. Look at the location as well. It's located towards, when we are moving towards the southern part, we're going towards the south. We're exactly not in the south. This is the eastern part of Canada right now that we're discussing. This is the St. Lawrence, and one more important bay is Bay of Fundy. Bay of Fundy is very important. Why? Because we have the highest tides in this region. I hope that's clear. The highest tides are in this region. This is the map of North America, and this is the Canada that we're discussing right now. This is Canada, and this is Bay of Fundy. Okay, Nova Scotia Island, if you know about it, that is somewhere located here. You can tell me where it is located. This is Bay of Fundy, that is having the highest tides in the world. So these form the part of Atlantic Ocean. These form the part of Arctic Ocean. Right now we'll go towards south and discuss some more of the seas that form the part of Arctic, because this is entirely the Atlantic Ocean. Now we'll learn about some more seas that form the part of Atlantic Ocean. We're done with this. Now there's one important sea, that is Sargasso Sea, which is located near Miami. Sargasso Sea is here. It is located near the Miami. I hope that's clear. Now going towards the southern part, we have some very important gulf, that is Gulf of Mexico, which is situated to the south of Mexico. This is the Yucatan Peninsula, as I already mentioned while we were doing the political map. This is the Yucatan Peninsula, and this is the Mexico mainland, and it is located in between these. This area is famous for hurricanes and tornadoes. You will find tornadoes in this region as well, then in the American continent as well. This region is famous for hurricanes because of various reasons that we will learn in the physical geography part as well. The Gulf of Mexico, this is a location of Gulf of Mexico, and it is also part of Atlantic Ocean. And one more sea important is the Caribbean Sea, as we have already learned about the Caribbean islands. So a sea located to that place is known as Caribbean Sea. I hope you have understood about the important seas that are associated with the Atlantic Ocean. We started from, tell me in the comments how many seas did we mention. We mentioned a lot of them, the Sargasso Sea, and then we have Gulf of Bay of Fundy and St. Lawrence Bay. Then we have Gulf of Mexico and Caribbean Sea as well as Sargasso Sea. Now when you go to the south part, this, look at this line, this is Panama. Okay, this is Panama. When you cross it, you reach the Gulf of Panama. On either the other side of this is the Gulf of Panama. But the important thing that you need to know is that this is no more the Atlantic Ocean. This side we have the Pacific Ocean. Now all the water bodies that we will study will be associated with the Pacific Ocean. So starting with the first, that is Gulf of Panama, associated with the Pacific Ocean. Number second is Gulf of California. As I already mentioned it, what is the name of this peninsula? It is in Mexico. I mentioned it there as well. What is the name of this peninsula? Baja Peninsula. Okay, this is Baja Peninsula that is located there, and this is the Gulf of California and associated with Pacific Ocean. Don't get confused between this. This is the Pacific side that we're discussing now. So this is the Pacific Ocean, and there is one more thing, that is Gulf of this Alaska, south of Alaska, and it is again associated with Pacific Ocean. So three places, three water bodies that we discussed: Gulf of Alaska, Gulf of California, and Panama, Gulf of Panama. These are associated with Pacific Ocean. On this side, you will find the Pacific Ocean. Then we'll go to the Atlantic on either side, and when we will go to the north part of the continent, you will see the Arctic, in which we said B1, B2, B3, B4. Then we have Hudson Bay, and that's it. These are the seas and their locations that are mentioned for you guys one by one. Starting with the Beaufort Sea, that was in the northernmost part, north of Alaska and the Yukon, that is in the northernmost part of the Canada, associated with the Arctic. Then there was Gulf of Alaska, that was to the south of Alaska. Beaufort was to the north of Alaska, Gulf of Alaska is to the south of Alaska again. Then we have Bering Sea, that I mentioned is separating the two continents, that is North America and Asia. Specifically talking, it separates Alaska and Russia. Okay, then we have Labrador Sea. It is between Labrador, that's Canada, and Greenland, as I showed you in the picture how it is between the Greenland and Labrador. Then we have Sargasso Sea. It is located in the North Atlantic. This is where we learned about the Atlantic, Sargasso Sea, and to the south of the Sargasso Sea was the Caribbean Sea as well. This is the Caribbean Sea. Sorry, this is located to the south of the Sargasso Sea. Going to the bays, Baffin Bay, very important. Tell me the location of Baffin Bay quickly. Between Greenland and the Baffin Island, as I mentioned about the island that was there, the very large island, that is the Baffin Island. Don't get confused between the other islands that were there, the Queen Elizabeth and the Victoria and the Banks, that is different. The Ellesmere Island, that is different. Now, going to the Hudson Bay, again very important. This is the large inlet, because I told you when you look at the map of North America, you will see a large inlet like this. A half crescent kind, not exactly half, but more than half kind of a thing. That's Hudson Bay. Then we have Boothia Bay, again very important, where I mentioned to not get confused between Boothia and Bothnia. This was again a very important bay that was there. And then we have some gulfs. Gulf of Mexico, very important, located to the north of Yucatan Peninsula and Mexico to the north. Then we have northern Cuba as well, as I mentioned about the Cuba. Cuba is very important, don't forget that. Gulf of California between the Baja Peninsula and the Mexico mainland. Then we have Gulf of St. Lawrence that connects the Atlantic Ocean, that borders the Quebec. I hope you remember that as well. Gulf of Alaska I have already mentioned. And then we have Gulf of Fundy, which is having very high tidal range. There are very high tidal range, so the tides are very frequent in this region. So this is between New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. That's what I mentioned about the seas. So we are done with the seas, we are done with the political part. Now what is remaining is a lot of physical mapping of the continent of North America that we'll be doing in the next class, in which we'll be discussing the straits, the mountains, the rivers, the deserts, the grasslands. All these things we'll do in the next lecture. I hope you liked the today's lecture, and if you're preparing for UPSC, then Unacademy has got a great offer for you at just rupees 23,999. That's a great offer for you guys, and you will get the batches in full English, which is strictly for English speaking population. Everybody can join that, but if you want to learn in English only, then this is the English batch. You will have a bilingual batch, and you will have a pure Hindi batch as well. Further, if you want some further discount, then use my code ATF. You can use the code and you will get further discount as well. So that is all from my side for today's class. I hope you liked the class, and if you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments. See you next time. Bye bye.